You see this squeaks? I'm waxy. But who cares? Number 8, syndicating our sorrows. The most selfish man in the world is the one who is, who is most unselfish with his sorrows. He does not leave a single misery of his untold to you or unsuffered by you. He gives you all of them. The world becomes to him a syndicate formed to take stock in his private cares, worries, and trials. His mistake is in forming a syndicate. He should organize a trust and control it all himself. Then he could keep everyone from getting any of his misery. Life is a great, serious problem for the individual. All our greatest joys and our deepest sorrows come to us alone. We must go into our Gethsemane alone. We must battle, damn it, we must battle against the mighty weakness within us alone. We must live our life alone. We must die alone. We must accept the full responsibility of our life alone. If each one of us has this mighty problem of life to solve for himself, if each of us has his own cares, responsibilities, failures, doubts, fears, bereavements, we surely are playing a coward's part when we syndicate our sorrows to others. We should seek to make life brighter for others. We should seek to hearten them in their trials by example of our courage in bearing our sorrows. We should seek to forget our failures and remember only the new wisdom they gave us. We should lay down our griefs by counting the joys and privileges still left to us. Put behind us our worries and regrets. 20 seconds, wait right here. Put behind us our worries and regrets and face each new day of life as bravely as we can. But we have no right to retail our sorrow and unhappiness throughout the community. Autobiography constitutes a large part of the conversation of some people. It is not really conversation, it is an uninterrupted monologue. These people study their individual lives with a microscope, and then they throw an enlarged view of their miseries on a screen and lecture on them. As a stereopticon man discourses on the microscope in a drop of water. In a drop of water. They tell you that they did not sleep a wink all night. They heard the clock strike every quarter of an hour. Now, there is no real cause for thus boasting of insomnia. It requires no peculiar talent, even though it does come only to wide awake people. If you ask such a man how is he feeling, he will trace the whole genealogy of his present condition down from the time he had the grip 4 years ago. You hoped for a word, he gives you a treatise. You asked for a sentence, he delivers an encyclopedia. His motto is every man his own boss. He is syndicating his sorrows. The woman who makes her trials with her children, her troubles with her servants, her difficulties with her family, the subjects of conversation with her callers and syndicating her sorrows. If she has a dear little innocent child who recites, "Coffee shall not ring tonight," is it not wiser for the mother to bear it calmly and discreetly and in silence than to syndicate the sorrow? In the first place, what does syndicate mean? What? Syndicating. To sell, to publish, to broadcast the material. Okay. Syndicating sorrow meaning. Complaining. Then to complain about the sorrow, then to syndicate the sorrow. That's equivalent. The businessman who lets his dyspepsia get into his disposition and who makes everyone around him suffer because he himself is ill is syndicating ill health. We have no right to make others the victim of our moods. If illness makes us cross and irritable, makes us unjust to faithful workers who cannot protest, let us quarantine ourselves so that we do not spread the contagion. Let us force ourselves to speak slowly, to keep anger away from the eyes, to prevent temper showing in the voice. If we feel that we must have dyspepsia, what is dyspepsia? Ingest or upset stomach, pain in stomach. If we feel that we must have dyspepsia, let us keep it out of our head. Let us keep it from getting north of the neck. Most people sympathize too much with themselves. They take themselves as a single sentence isolated from the great text of life. They study themselves too much. They study themselves too much as separated from the rest of humanity, instead of being vitally connected with their fellow man. There are some people who surrender to sorrow, as others give way to dissipation. There is a vain pride of sorrow as well as of beauty. Most individuals have a strange glow of vanity, looking back upon their past and feeling that few others in life have suffered such trials, hardships, and disappointments as have come to them. When deaths come into the little circle of loved ones who make up our world, all life becomes dark for us. We seem to have no person for existing, no object, no incentive, no hope. The love that made struggle and effort bearable for us is gone. We stare dry-eyed into the future and see no future. We want none. Life has become to us a past with no future. It is but a memory without a hope. Then the divine mystery of nature's processes under the tender, soothing touch of time. As day melt into weeks, we begin to open our eyes gently to the world around us, and the noise and tumult of life jars less and less upon us. We have become emotionally convalescent as the days go on in our deep love, in the fullness of our loyalty. We part as often with tears in our eyes against our gradual return to the spirit and atmosphere of the days of the past. We feel in a subtle way a new pain. We feel in a subtle way a new pain, as if we were disloyal to the dear one, as if we were faithless to our love. Nature sweetly turns aside our protesting hands and says to us, there is no disloyalty in permitting the wounds to lessen their pains, to heal gradually, if time foreordained that they can heal. There are some natures all absorbed in a mighty love, wherein no healing is possible, but these are rare souls in life. Bitter though our anguish be, we have no right to syndicate our sorrow. This means no matter how much sad we are feeling at a time, we should not at any cost show everyone loudly that we are sad, I'm going through this. Do not play victim card. We have no right to cast a gloom over happy natures by our heavy weight of crape, by serving the term prescribed by society for wearing the livery of mourning, as if real grief thought of a uniform. We have no right to syndicate our grief by using note paper with a heavy black border as wide as a headband, thus parading our personal sorrow to others in their happiest moments. If life is not gone well with us, if fortune has left us disconsolate, if love has grown cold, and we sit alone by the embers, if life has become to us a valley of desolation, through which weary limbs must drag an unwilling body till the end shall come, let us not create such an atmosphere to those around us. Let us not take strangers through the catacombs of our life and show the bones of our dead past. Let us not pass our cup of sorrow to others, but if we must drink it, let us take it as Socrates did his poison hemlock, grandly, heroically, and uncomplainingly. If your life has led you to doubt the existence of honor in man and virtue in women, what is virtue? Okay, high moral standards, a good habit, good quality. If your life has led you to doubt the existence of honor in man and virtue in women, if you feel that religion is a pretense, that spirituality is a sham, that life is a failure and death the entrance of nothingness, if you have absorbed all the poison philosophy of the world's pessimists and committed the folly of believing it, don't syndicate it. If your fellow man be clinging to one frail spark, the last remnant of a noble shipwrecked faith in God and humanity, let him keep it. Do not loosen his fingers from his hope, and tell him it is a delusion. I don't know who told you it was so. If these high tide moments of life sweep your faith in omnipotence into nothingness, If the friend in whom you put all faith in humanity and humanity is God betray you, do not eagerly accept the teachings of those modern freethinkers who syndicate their infidelity at so much per-reserved seat. Seek to recover your lost faith by listening to the million voices that speak of infinite wisdom, infinite love, that manifest themselves in nature and humanity. And then build up as heavily as you can in new faith, a faith in something higher, better, and truer than you have known before. You may have one in the world to whom you may dare show with the fullness of absolute confidence and perfect faith any thought, any hope, any sorrow, but to dare not trust them to the world. Do not show the world through your bluebeard chamber. Keep your trials and sorrows as close to you as you can till you have mastered them. Don't weaken others by thus insinuating your miseries. Number 9, the revelations, the revelations of reserved power. Every individual is a marvel of unknown and unrealized possibilities. 9/10 of an iceberg is always below water. 9/10 of the possibilities of good and evil of the individual is ever hidden from his sight. Burns' prayer that we might see ourselves as either see us, either's meaning others. We might see ourselves as others see us, was weak. The answer could minister only to a man's vanity. It would show him only what others think him to be, not what he is. We should pray to see ourselves as we are. But no man could face the radiant revelation of the latent powers and forces within him, underlying the weak, narrow life he is living. He would fall, blinded and prostrate, as did Moses before the burning bush. Man is not a mechanical music box, wound up by the Creator and set to play a fixed chamber of prescribed tunes. He's a human heart with infinite possibilities of unawakened music. Yes. Yes. The untold revelations of nature are in her reserve power. Reserve power is nature's method of meeting emergencies. Nature is wise and economic. Nature saves energy and effort and gives only what is absolutely necessary for life and development under any given condition. And when new needs arise, nature always meets them by her reserve power. In animal life, nature reveals this in a million phases. Animals placed in the darkness of the mammoth cave gradually have the sense of sight weakened and the senses of smell, touch, and hearing intensified. Nature watches over all animals, making their color harmonize with the general tone of their surroundings to protect them from their enemies. Those Arctic animals, which in the summer inhabit regions free from snow, turn white when winter comes. In the desert, the lion, the camel, and all the desert antelopes have more or less the color of the sand and rocks on which they live. In tropical forests, parrots are usually green. Turacles, barbets, and bee-eaters have a preponderance of green in their plumage. The colors change as the habits of the animal change from generation to generation. Nature, by her reserve power, always meets the new needs of animals with new strength, new harmony, with new conditions. Oh, this paragraph made my interest in nature books, so let's find some nature books. Let us not find it, but store it in Gemini prompt. I want to read some open source books which inspire us about nature, self-love, humanity, and a calm life. Please tell me some books. By nature, I mean the life in forests. It's okay, it will be seen later by me. Let us continue. New harmony with new conditions. This is about 45 years ago. Three pairs of enterprising rabbits were introduced into Australia. Today, the increase of these six immigrants may be counted by millions. They became a pest to the country. Fortunes have been spent to exterminate them. Wire fences many feet high and thousands of miles long have been built to keep out the invaders. The rabbits had to fight awful odds to live, but they have now outwitted man. They have developed a new nail, a long nail, by which they can retain their hold on a fence while climbing. With the same nail, they can burrow 6 or 8 inches under the netting, and thus enter the fields that mean food and life to them. They are now laughing at men. Reserve power has vitalized from these rabbits latent possibilities because they did not tamely accept their condition, but in their struggle to live, learn how to live. Wow, what a great thing. In the struggle to live, they learned how to live. Wow. In plant life, nature is constantly revealing reserve power. The possibilities of almost infinite color are present in every green plant, even in roots and stems. Proper conditions only are needed to reveal them. By obeying nature's laws, man could make leaves as beautifully colored as flowers. The wild rose has only a single corolla, but when cultivated in rich soil, the numerous yellow stamens change into the brilliant red leaves of the full-grown cabbage rose. This is but one of nature's miracles of reserve power. Once the banana was tropical lily, the peach was at one time a bitter element. To tell the full story of reserve power in nature would mean to write the history of the universe in 1,000 volumes. Nature is a great believer in double engines. Man is equipped with nearly every organ in duplicate: eyes, ears, lungs, arms, legs, so that if one be weakened, its mate to reserve power, it's stimulated to do enough for both. Even where the organ itself is not duplicated, as in the nose, there is a division of heads so there is a constant resolve. Nature, for still further protection, has for every part of the body an understudy in training to be ready in a crisis, as the sense of touch for the blind. Birds, when frightened, ruffle. Birds, when frightened, ruffle their feathers. A dove that has been in the water shakes its coat so that each hair stands out of itself. The startled hedgehog projects everywhere. These actions are produced by skin muscles that are rudimentary in man and over which, in ordinary conditions, has no control. But in a moment of terrible fear, reserve power quickens their action in a second. Their action in a second. And the hair on his head stands on end in the intensity of fright. That nature that thus watches so tenderly over the physical needs of man is equally provident in storing for him in mental and moral reserve power. Man may fail in a dozen different lines of activity and then succeed brilliantly in a phase wherein he was unconscious of any ability. We must never rest content with what we are and say, there is no use for me to try. I can never be great. I am not even clever now, but the law of reserve power stands by us as a fairy godmother and says, there is one charm by which you can transmute the dull dross of your present condition into the pure gold of strength and power. That charm is ever doing your best, ever daring more, and the full measure of your final attainment can never be told in advance. Rely upon me to help you with new revelations of strength and new emergencies. Never be cast down because your power seems so trifling, progress so slow. The world's greatest and best men were failures in some line. Failures many times before failure was crowned with success. There is in the mythology of the Norsemen belief that the strength of an enemy we kill enters into us. This is true in character. As we conquer a passion, a thought, a feeling, a desire, as we rise superior to some impulse, the strength of that victory, trifling through it, maybe, is stored by nature as a reserve power to come to us in the hour of our need. Were we to place before almost any individual the chart of his future, his trials, sorrows, failures, afflictions, loss, sickness, and loneliness, and ask him if he could bear it, he would say, no, I could not bear all that and live. But he can, and he does. And he does. The hopes upon the realization of which he has staked all his future turn to air as he nears them. Friends whom he has trusted betray him. The world grows cold. The child whose smile is the light of his life dishonors his name. Death takes from him the wife of his heart. Reserve power has been watching over him and ever giving him new strength while he sleeps, even while he sleeps. If we be conscious of any weakness and desire to conquer it, we can force ourselves into positions where we must act in a way to strengthen ourselves through that weakness, cut off our retreat, burn our bridges behind us, and fight like Spartans till the victory be ours. Reserve power is like the manna given to the children of Israel in the wilderness. Only enough was given them to keep them for one day. Each successive day had its new supply of strength. There is in the Leaning Tower of Pisa a spiral stairway so steep in its ascent that only one step at a time is revealed to us. But as each step is taken, the next is made visible, and thus, step by step, to the very highest, showing the divine economy of the universe. Reserve power is a gradual and constant revelation of strength within us to meet each new need. And no matter what be our life, what our needs, we should feel that we have within us infinite, untried strength and possibility. And that if we believe and do our best, the angel of reserve power will walk by our side, will even divide the waters of Red Sea of our sorrows and trials, so we may walk through safety. Number 10, the majesty of calmness, which means the greatness of calmness. Calmness is the rarest quality in human life. It is the poise of a great nature, in harmony with itself and its its ideals. It is the moral atmosphere of a life self-centered, self-reliant, and self-controlled. Calmness is singleness of purpose, absolute confidence and conscious power, ready to be focused in an instant to meet any crisis. The Sphinx is not a true type of calmness. Petrifaction is not calmness. It is death. The silencing of all the energies. While no one lives his life more fully, more intensely, and more constantly than the man who is calm, the fatalist is not calm. He is the coward slave of his environment, hopelessly surrendering to his present condition, recklessly indifferent to his future. He accepts his life as a rudderless ship, drifting on the ocean of time. He has no compass, no chart, no known port to which he is sailing. His self-confessed inferiority to all nature is shown in his existence of constant surrender. It is not calmness. The man who is calm has his course in life clearly marked on his chart. His hand is ever on the helm. Storm, fog, night, tempest, danger, hidden reefs. He is ever prepared and ready for them. He is made calm and serene by the realization that in these crises of his voyage, he needs a clear mind and cool head, that he has not to do but to do each day the best he can by the light he has, that he will never flinch or falter for a moment. That though he may have to tack and leave his port for a time, he will never drift. He will get back into the true channel. He will keep ever headed toward his harbor. When he will reach it, how he will reach it matters not to him. He rests in calmness, knowing he has done his best. If his best seems to be overthrown or overruled, then he must still bow his head in calmness. To no man is permitted to know the future of his life, the finality. God commits to man ever only new beginnings, new wisdom, and new days to use to the best of his knowledge. Calmness comes ever from within. It is the peace and restfulness of the depths of our nature. The fury of storm and of wind agitate only the surface of the sea. They can penetrate only 200 or 300 feet. Below that is the calm, unruffled deep. To be ready for the great crises of life, we must learn serenity in our daily living. What is serenity in the first place? The state of being calm, peaceful, and free from worry. Nice. Calmness is the crown of self control. When the worries and cares of the day affect you and begin to wear upon you, and you shave under friction, be calm. Stop. Rest for a moment. Let calmness and peace assert themselves. If you let these irritating outside influences get the better of you, you are confessing your inferiority to them by permitting them to dominate you. Study the disturbing elements, each by itself. Bring all the willpower of your nature to bear upon them, and you will find that they will, one by one, melt into nothingness like vapors fading before the sun. The glow of calmness that will then pervade your mind, the tingling sensation of an inflow of new strength, may be to you the beginning of the revelation of the supreme calmness that is possible for you. Then, in some great hour of your life, when you stand face to face with some awful trial, when the structure of your ambition and life work crumbles in a moment, you will be brave. You can then fold your arms calmly, look out undismayed and undaunted upon the ashes of your hope, upon the wreck of what you have faithfully built, and with brave heart and unfaltering voice, you may say, "So let it be, I will build again." Wow, what a great sentence. Let me read it again. Study the disturbing elements, each by itself. Bring all the willpower of your nature to bear upon them. You will find that they will one by one to do. What is they? When the worries, worries, what worries? The glow of calmness that will then pervade your mind, the tingling sensation of an inflow of new strength, then some great outlife, when you stand face to face with some awful trial, when the structure of your ambition and life will crumbles in a moment, you will be brave. You can then fold your arms calmly and say with brave heart and unfaltering voice, "So let it be. I will build it again." Greatest sentence. When the tongue of malice and slander, the persecution of inferiority, tempts you for just a moment to retaliate, when for an instant to forget yourself so far as to hunger for revenge, be calm. When the grey heron is pursued by its enemy, the eagle, it does not run to escape. It remains calm, takes a dignified stand, and waits quietly, facing the enemy unmoved with the terrific force with which the eagle makes his attack. The boasted king of birds is often impaled and run through the quiet, lance-like bill of the heron. The means that man takes to kill another's correct becomes suicide of his own. No man in the world ever attempted to wrong another without being injured in return, some way, somehow, sometime. The only weapon of offense that nature seems to recognize is the boomerang. Nature keeps her books admirably. She puts down every item. She closes all accounts finally, but she does not always balance them at the end of the month. To the man who is calm, revenge is so far beneath him that he cannot wage it, even by stooping. When injured, he does not retaliate. He wraps around him the royal robes of calmness, and he goes quietly on his way. When the hand of death touches the one we hold dearest, paralyzes our energy, and eclipses the sun of our life, the calmness that has been accumulating in long years becomes in a moment our refuge and our reserve strength. The most subtle of all temptation is the seeming success of the wicked. It requires moral courage to see, without flinching, material prosperity coming to men who are dishonest. To see politicians rise into prominence, power and wealth by trickery and corruption, to see virtue in rags and vice in velvets, to see ignorance at a premium, knowledge at a discount. To the man who's really calm, these puzzles of life do not appeal. He is living his life as best as he can. He is not worrying about the problems of justice whose solution must be left to omniscience to solve. When man has developed the spirit of calmness until it becomes so absolutely part of him that his very presence radiates it. Okay, let us. When man has developed the character, developed the spirit of calmness until it becomes so absolutely part of him that his very presence radiates it, he has made great progress in life. Calmness cannot be acquired of itself and by itself. It must come as the culmination of a series of virtues. What the world needs and what individuals need is a higher standard of living, a great realizing sense of the privilege and dignity of life, a higher and nobler conception of individuality. With this great sense of calmness permeating an individual, man becomes able to retire more into himself. Away from the noise, the confusion and strife of the world, which come to his ears only as faint, far off rumblings, or as the tumult of the life of a city, heard only as a buzzing hum by the man in a balloon. The man who is calm does not selfishly isolate himself from the world, for he is intensely interested in all that concerns of the welfare of humanity. His calmness is but a holy of holies into which he can retire from the world to get strength to live in the world. He realizes that the full glory of individuality, the crowning of his self-control, is the majesty of calmness. Okay, how much time is? 45 minutes have passed. I don't think I should read one more. Let us check how long it is. Okay, I've completed 10. I'll proceed with 11th tomorrow. Together.